it's a dropper loop knot to connect my lines, and what that does is that makes it a very tapered knot right here. In other words, the dropper loop actually makes it tapered from one end across, so it kind of bevels it, and you don't have a big knot there. Some people just tie overhands. But then in spooling it, you see I've got a dowel running through here, and I keep my lines labeled in the sizes, and I just reel it up. And so that's pretty quick and easy. Now, if this was braided line, I would put extreme pressure on the braid to get it on the spool, because I want the braid on very, very tight so that you don't set a hook and have it, dig back down into itself. But on fluorocarbon, just a matter of, reeling it in, putting it on nice and smooth, getting it full. And once the spools, and I like mine to be, very full, once you get it to that point, just cut it, run it back through the guides, and I'm ready to go fishing. And then I take my little label here. I gotta find my end and stick the label on. I'm ready to go. So that's spooling up a bait caster. Now, spinning reels are, and this one does not need to be re-spooled. I just spooled this one. But this is what's amazing. For a spinning reel, most people think you're going to tie this on, lay it down, and spool it coming off the top of the spool. And what happens is every time it's making a turn like that, it's twisting. And it doesn't twist at the same rate that your spool does. So all of a sudden you'll see it getting real twisted, and then people flip it over, and then they do it, and it'll untwist and then twist back up, and then they'll flip it over, and they just keep doing that constantly while you're filling your reel. Well, what I found out in doing that is that it just doesn't do a good job of putting it on your reel. It actually puts twist in it, and then you're battling it forever with your spinning reel. So a saltwater guy who fills tons of spinning reels daily, and they do lots and lots of yards, he says, don't ever do it that way. Just do it the same way you do a baitcaster. And that's totally against the grain, totally against what everybody will tell you, but it works, and it works great. So what I do if I'm filling my spinning reel is I take my line off the spool here, feed it through, and I spool it up exactly the same way you just saw me do it, with it coming off the end of the spool. So the spool is going to be sitting there turning, and then I hold it with one hand above. So when I reel this, I'm going to have one hand here holding the line, one hand here, and I spool it in. And when I'm done, I cut it, and the little bit of twist that's left is there, and it's gone, and it's very, very simple, and my reels go days without having line twist problems. So try that when you're doing the spinning reel, and I think you'll be very, very happy. Spool it the same exact way, coming off the center of the spool, that you do a baitcaster.